Hello, this is Abby Adler, Executive Assistant at NYSCA. Before we formally begin today's meeting, I ask that everyone joining us please mute their phones or video audio unless they are speaking. We do recognize that with people joining from all over the state, we may experience issues with connectivity, so please reach me directly with any tech issues. I'm going to begin by taking a roll call of council members to confirm if we have a quorum present. When I state your name, if you would be so kind as to say present. Monica Engel.
Present.
Lawrence Cook.
Present.
Scott Eberly. Scott, if you would be able to unmute.
Maybe come back to Scott.
Come back to Scott. Oh. Cara Lee Fink.
Here.
Joan Hornig.
Present.
Eric Latsky.
Present.
James Lemons.
Present.
Andrea Louie.
Present.
Laudalina Martinez.
Here.
David Allen Miller.
Present.
Nazi Moynihan.
Present.
Catherine Nichols.
Present.
Catherine Schwefferman.
Present.
And coming back to Scott Eberly.
Present.
Thank you. We now have a quorum present, and Catherine, we may proceed whenever you are ready.
Thank you, Abby. Good afternoon, and welcome to the New York State Council on the Arts, September 9th, 2021 meeting. I'm Catherine Nichols, the chair of the New York State Council on the Arts. Thank you to our council members for joining us today. To remind all in attendance, this is a public meeting that is being recorded. As authorized by the governor and the New York State Legislature on September 1st, 2021, this meeting will be conducted by teleconference and video participation. A recording and transcript of the meeting will be made available on the NYSCA website. At today's meeting, we will review and vote on the fiscal year 2022 partnership grants, fiscal year 2022 Restart New York live performance grant recommendations, and fiscal year 2022 panelist roster recommendations. The meeting materials were sent to council on Friday, September 3rd, 2021. It is my immense pleasure today to recognize our new governor, Kathy Hochul, who is the first woman to assume the office. On behalf of the NYSCA Council, staff, and the arts sector, we extend our congratulations and excitement. Throughout her many years of service to New York State, Governor Hochul has been a powerful advocate for the arts and a frequent attendee of our grantees' performances, openings, and groundbreakings. We are at a critical juncture for our state, and we look forward to working with the governor and her team to advance the arts sector and to support a dynamic and multi-year recovery for the state. This morning, New York has sworn in a new lieutenant governor, Brian Benjamin. During his tenure as state senator, Senator Benjamin represented District 30, which includes areas in East Harlem, and the Upper West Side of Manhattan. He also served as the Senior Assistant Majority Leader. On behalf of the entire NYSCA Council and staff, we wish our governor and lieutenant governor every success. Today, the NYSCA Council will vote on recommendations for two distinct items. First, we will vote on the additional fiscal year 2022 panelist roster recommendations. This council voted to approve panelists eligible for their second and third term of service at our June 8th meeting, as well as additional panelists for NYSCA partnerships at our July 27th meeting. The panelists we review and vote on today will participate in the review of round 3 applications in October. We will also review and vote on the fiscal year 2022 partnership grant recommendations, which include grants for partnerships and statewide community re-grant partners, formerly known as the decentralization sites. This support will expand NYSCA's current network of valued re-grant partners to reach New York's vast and diverse community of artists and organizations. A healthier field is a more inclusive field, and increased support at the local level will ensure more communities, organizations, and individuals have access to NYSCA funding. The application portal for the NYSCA Partnerships opportunity opened on July 19th and closed on August 2nd. Application to this opportunity was by invitation only. The review panel for statewide community re-grant partners was held on August 16th, and the panel for the partnerships applications was held on August 26th. Many thanks to our council members who were able to attend these meetings, and we hope they were informative. I would like to take this moment to recognize the NYSCA staff under the leadership of Abigail Young, Deputy Director of Operations and General Counsel, and Megan White, Deputy Director of Programs. With their leadership, NYSCA has redeveloped the application process and launched a new application portal. Our staff has worked collaboratively with the field and been responsive to ensure their greater understanding of NYSCA's new opportunities. Their extraordinary dedication throughout this process to reimagine NYSCA's priorities has been exemplary, and we share our immense gratitude with them. A reminder that the fiscal year 2022 opportunities have been constructed to achieve the following. 1, to significantly streamline the application process to reduce burden for applying, especially for new applicants and smaller organizations. 2, to provide immediate support for live performance, an area of our sector that has had its doors shuttered since March 2020 with a significant unemployed workforce. 3, to expand eligibility and access for funding to underrepresented communities, smaller organizations, and a broader range of artistic practices. And 4, to provide flexible funding to be responsive to the fluidity of our times. On behalf of the entire council and staff, we would also like to acknowledge New York State's incredible artistic field who persevered through innumerable challenges of the last year. We remain inspired by their considerable dedication to provide support and programming to their communities over these last 18 months. I am now pleased to welcome NYSCA's Executive Director, Mara Manis. Mara, I would like to say a few words about your exceptional leadership over this last year, as you have committed yourself wholeheartedly to guiding the agency through a very challenging time. Mara has worked steadfastly to provide vital context to the Chamber, New York State Division of the Budget, and the legislature regarding the impact of the arts on New York State and the devastating toll of COVID on our sector. Mara has also worked collaboratively and creatively across sectors with our partners at the Office of the Aging and Department of Corrections to ensure the continuation of crucial creative programming. Mara and the NYSCA team's efforts have provided critical context and paved the way for our historic funding. Our vast and diverse arts sector that spans all 62 counties is at the center of all that we do here at NYSCA. The state's recognition of the arts has resulted in the historic level of funding that NYSCA has received for fiscal year 2022. And we acknowledge how vital this funding is to our sector's recovery and future. Mara, we thank you so very much for your leadership, and I'm pleased to turn this meeting over to you. We welcome your thoughts and your updates.
Thank you so much, Catherine, and thank you for those very kind words. None of this would be possible without the incredible team, and as you mentioned, under the leadership of Abigail Young and Megan White. It is indeed a giant team effort. I wanted to echo Catherine's remarks about Governor Hochul, who has been a championing of the arts in New York. I've had the pleasure of sharing the stage with her, and it's been thrilling to see her support of the arts across the state throughout her tenure as Lieutenant Governor. We are so grateful to the legislature and the governor for this historic $105 million investment in arts for FY22. Over these last 18 months, there's been a heightened awareness nationwide of the critical impact the arts have had on the health of individuals and communities. This awareness has propelled New York State to meet the outsized needs of our sector in our multi-year recovery with a historic FY22 funding appropriation of $105 million. It is now really all of our jobs to build on the considerable momentum underway in keeping our state colleagues and legislators informed about the successes and challenges in the reopening and recovery of our sector so that we can continue this vital work. I greatly look forward to our collaborative efforts in the months and years ahead as we continue to provide resources to organizations and artists whose work nourishes our lives, our spirits, and our economies. I'm pleased to share an update on our Restart New York live performance grants. The council voted to approve at our last meeting 773 Restart grants to 438 organizations across the state. I'm delighted to report that the Restart performances have already launched in all 10 regions of our state. From Torn Space in Buffalo, New York to the Glimmer Glass Festival in Mohawk Valley. As part of our communications update, we have received nearly 200 responses to our performance tracking form, and to date, 140 performances have already taken place and 250 are scheduled. For this initiative, our grantees are continuing to use our special hashtag, RestartNYGrantee, which we've now seen in over 100 posts. We've also created a page on our website detailing the schedule of Restart events happening each week. And this page, which Abby is sharing right now, is updated on a weekly basis. And we want to just encourage everyone to check out the page for weekly updates, and also encourage their friends to attend the different events which we are supporting. I also want to give a shout out to both Leah Capatordo, who's our interim communications manager, and Sana Coulter, NYSCA's VISTA member, for developing and leading the charge on this comprehensive communications initiative. In terms of our FY22 outreach, as we all remember, being a connector and convener is a key strategic priority, and we wanted to cast as broad a net as possible while offering high-touch support to our field in this application round. As part of our continued FY22 outreach, we held additional Zoom office hours throughout August, reaching 133 organizations and artists, 30% who indicated that they're first-time applicants. To date, NYSCA has held 7 live webinars, 2 pre-recorded webinars, 8 office hour sessions, reaching almost 4,000 people. We have reached 2,100 in our live events and over 2,500 through virtual views on our website. In the month of August, our webinar virtual views increased by 80%, and we will continue to produce our NYSCA Presents webinars, including one for our capital opportunities, which we will be posting in September. While the arts are persevering and reopening, we are all keenly aware of the challenges that lie ahead in the ever-evolving COVID crisis. NYSCA will be hosting listening sessions on an ongoing basis to stay abreast of our field and how the health crisis is impacting them in these fluid times. Our recovery is multifaceted and, as I mentioned before, multi-year, and we are honored to stand by our field as we navigate these ongoing challenges together. Catherine, back to you.
Thank you, Mara, and congratulations to all the NYSCA staff members who participated in the NYSCA fiscal year 2022 outreach programs. Your expertise and attention are appreciated by the field and by Council. At this time, NYSCA has determined that Council has a basis to enter into executive session to review the NYSCA fiscal year 2022 partnership and Restart New York grant recommendations. Section 105(1)(f) of the Open Meetings Law permits a public body to enter into an executive session to discuss the financial, credit, or employment history of a particular person or corporation. Council members Please make sure your video is on. We will return to public meeting at the conclusion of the presentations by NYSCA staff at approximately 3:55 p.m. Please raise your hand now to approve entry into executive session, and I will ask Abby to confirm the hands.
This is Abby confirming that the motion is approved. Hi, Catherine. This is Abby. I am confirming that the recording of the public portion of this meeting has resumed and that you may proceed.
Thank you, Abby. Welcome back to the public portion of the council meeting for the New York State Council on the Arts. I'm Catherine Nichols, Chair of the New York State Council on the Arts. Thank you all for joining us, and to remind all in attendance, this is a public meeting that is being recorded. Our next agenda item is to review and vote on additional fiscal year 2022 panelist recommendations. Megan White, NYSCA's Deputy Director of Programs, will now present the roster and discuss this year's panelist recruitment process. Megan.
Thank you, Catherine. Each year, NYSCA solicits nominations from NYSCA staff, council members, current panelists, current grantees, and the general public. Advisory panelists are selected from these nominees. As a reminder, all panel members serve single-year terms and may be reappointed for a term of up to 3 years. At our June 8th, 2021 meeting, Council voted to approve 175 returning panelists who will serve their second or third term during our upcoming panel review process. At our July 27, 2021 meeting, we voted to approve 3 additional first-term panelist recommendations who served on the Round 2 NYSCA Partnerships Review panel. Last year, in an effort to cast a broader net to attract a wider range of panelists, we updated the language on our call for panelists, highlighted the call for panelists on our website, designed a flyer highlighting our call for panelists, and encouraged our service organizations to share the panelist opportunity. Through these efforts, we attracted over 200 nominations, over half of which were new to NYSCA. We launched our new FY 2022 panelist page on the NYSCA website in July 2021, including a new panelist nomination form. The deadline for panelist nominations was August 20th, 2021. We received over 70 nominations, many of whom are included in the council meeting materials before you. As a reminder, advisory panels are required to act with impartiality with respect to the evaluation and rating of applications, and to protect panel deliberations from any potential conflict of interest or the appearance of such conflict. Prior to serving, panelists are required to acknowledge any affiliations with organizations making applications to the council and must comply with New York State ethics laws. Back over to you, Catherine.
Thank you, Megan. And are there any questions or comments from council at this time? And I'll ask Abby if I'm not seeing someone in my view. Don't want to miss a question.
I am not seeing any hands.
Okay, so at this time, I would like to ask council for a joint vote to approve the fiscal 2022 panelist roster, partnership grant recommendations, and Restart New York grant recommendations. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. I would now like to ask Deputy Director Megan White if there are any recusals to report. Those with a conflict will be deemed recused on their vote for the applicable application. Megan.
Thank you, Catherine. I have the following conflicts to report for the record. New York State Dance Force, James Lemons. Just Buffalo, Andrea Louie.
Thank you, Megan. And from the floor, are there any other recusals? Okay, let's proceed to the vote. Council members, please make sure your cameras are on and you are on unmuted. All those in favor of approving the fiscal year 2022 panelist roster, partnership grant recommendations, and Restart New York live performance grant recommendations, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? Abstentions? I'll wait for Abby to confirm.
Thank you, Catherine, confirming that we have the votes.
Thank you. The motion carries. Before we adjourn, my gratitude to the entire NYSCA Council, leadership, and staff for being with us here today. It's always a pleasure to share this space with you. Today, NYSCA has taken another important step in aiding the recovery of our not-for-profit arts and culture sector. These grants will no doubt make an incredible difference to the recipients as they reopen in communities all across New York State. Now, I just added some notes while we were in session, and today in doing our civic duty, we have granted close to $8 million in vital funding, which brings our fiscal year 2022 to over $36 million in total, which is close to a prior annual budget of NYSCA. We acknowledge the incredible balance of expediting funding while upholding critical due diligence process for state funding by our team at NYSCA. Our next meeting will be held November 16th, where Council will review and vote on Round 4 Capital Panelist roster and Round 3 support for organizations, support for artists, recovery grants, and special opportunities grant recommendations. We ask that you please hold the entire day for that meeting. The schedule for Round 3 review panels in October is forthcoming, and as always, we encourage Council members to make time to log on and experience this important part of our process. Attending panels provides you the important context for when we come together in November to vote on the recommendations. A reminder that Council members audit the panel meetings and are expected to remain muted with their cameras turned off. And thank you to Council members for your comments on the impact of those sessions today. We appreciate that feedback. On behalf of our Council, we wish our grantees much success, and we look forward to witnessing your work over the next year. We're grateful for your dedication and the incredible impact you have on our state. As Executive Director Manis noted, our recovery is multifaceted and a multi-year process. New Yorkers continue to respond to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, and now combined, with the recovery from recent storms Omri and Ida, we rise to meet the challenges we face. That is what New Yorkers do. It is crucial that we remain vigilant and observe the health and safety protocols set out by the state. And we applaud the arts and culture sector across New York for your diligence and focus in this area of response. Your commitment to public safety has allowed us to be reinvigorated by your work. We are thrilled to enjoy the return to live performance and eagerly await the upcoming fall season. To all of our grantees, thank you. Your work inspires us and enriches our lives and the vitality of our communities and the state. And again, I would like to thank NYSCA staff, council, and panelists today for doing our duty. I wish everyone good health, and this concludes our council meeting for today. I will now ask for a motion and a second to adjourn the meeting. Is there a motion?
So moved, Catherine.
Thank you, Scott. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Joan. All in favor, please raise your hand, and Abby will give me the signal when we have quorum.
Confirming we have the votes, Catherine.
Thank you. Opposed and abstentions, we're okay. Just a pause. Thank you. This meeting of the NYSCA Council is now adjourned, and we look forward to seeing you all in November. Be safe.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.